Patriots Raiders matchup preview coming up next on Raider Nation News Today. Welcome to the House at Hammer, built by the nation for the nation. Welcome to Raider Nation News Today, Friday, October, whatever it is. We are here for our weekly matchup preview, Patriots versus Raiders. I'm being joined by Murph, and we are going to bring him in momentarily. Let's get this up and going. There it is. Murph, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hammer, thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure to meet you and a pleasure to be here. And how you doing there, Raiders Nation?
So Murph is a baseball editor columnist for E2G Sports. Why don't you tell everybody exactly what else it is that you cover?
Oh, I cover the Celtics. I cover the Patriots, of course. I do not cover hockey anymore since I have been boycotting the NHL since the Whalers left Hartford.
Good God, that was a very, very long time ago.
Yeah, I'm a very, very old man.
So you did an article, I believe it was earlier today, in regards to this matchup. Let's get a little rundown of what you discussed in regards to this matchup between the Patriots and the Raiders this coming Sunday.
Okay. Well, we'll just skip the intro because nobody would really, none of your listeners would probably enjoy that. But yeah, every week I do my keys to whatever matchup the Patriots have going that weekend, and of course this week is the monster keys to this game. The Patriots have been playing very unpatriot-like this season, and I don't just mean in execution or in game preparedness. It's over the last three games, there's been a serious lack of effort on part of some people wearing the red, white, and blue this season, and I kind of called them out on that. You know, if the Patriots want to come out of this game with a victory against a very talented squad that you guys have out there in Vegas right now, they're going to have to bring their A game. I need guys that are going to strap it on, strap up, and actually go out there and beat the man in front of them.
Now, we did see that debacle at Allegiant last year with the annexation of Puerto Rico that totally failed and turned into us taking it to the house to seal the deal on a walk-off.
Mm-hmm.
And now we go into this season, still a whole bunch of former Patriots. We know Josh McDaniels continues to follow his Patriot
Patriots
way.
West.
Chandler Jones is no longer a Raider after the unfortunate circumstances with him and his mental health pretty much. But we do have a new quarterback this season in Jimmy Garoppolo, who you're very familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of him so far this season in the silver and black?
I think he's getting his feet under him. Whenever you bring in a quarterback, even one familiar with a system, when Jimmy went out to San Francisco, he's been out in San Fran for a very long time, and you end up ingraining yourself into a system that you're in. So it's going to take time for him to get back into the swing of things with Josh. And I think as the season progresses, as things go along, if Jimmy stays healthy, that things are going to get better and better for him out there once he gets on the same page with everybody.
Let's pull up this matchup in regards to the rankings going into this matchup. So as it stands right now, going into this, offensively, the Raiders are ranked 26th. The
Yep.
Patriots are ranked 23rd
Yep.
defensively, which again, I've told our viewers this is a huge upgrade compared to last year. Defensive overall, right now, the Raiders defense stands at 15th, Patriots are 10th, which is
Yep.
kind of a shocker considering the points that they've given up the last 2 weeks.
Last two games.
Passing 15th for the Raiders, 17th for the Patriots. Rushing 31st for the Raiders, 25th for the Raiders. Now, I know you guys like to have a very deep running back depth chart, and to see this Bill Belichick offense ranked at what it's at right now in the run game, what's going on there? I know you guys got
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott, Ramondre Stevenson. What's going on with you guys?
The room is very thin this year. He went with two backs. That's a huge surprise, especially with some of the things that have happened in years past. That he would go at it with two running backs. This simply comes down to the fact that the Patriots have absolutely no offensive line whatsoever. None. Everybody is either banged up, hurt, or disengaged. After David Andrews at center, it is a mash unit out there of second and third stringers. Bill put together probably the worst offensive line I have ever seen. There is no next man up here, and every time Mac Jones drops back to pass, he's taking his life in his own hands.
The same could be
And that,
said right now for the Raiders and their
yeah,
offensive line in regards to, especially the last 3 weeks. Like
yep,
our offensive line has collapsed tremendously. We've given up close to 20 sacks in the last 3 weeks.
yep,
Um, Again, like we know McDaniels, we know his system, and he's supposed to be this offensive guru, but like the offensive line is really just killing the Raiders'
it
offense right
is.
now. Like if your offensive line doesn't work, your offense doesn't work, and we're trying to figure this out right now. But I see you guys are doing the same thing. You've only scored 3 points in the last 2 weeks.
In the last 2 weeks. It's terrible. This what Josh runs and what's being run here again in New England is a bastardized Earhart system, which has been around since the mid '80s. And it's don't get me wrong, folks. When it works, it is a fantastic system, but it's all predicated on what happens up front, winning those battles in the trenches. And both of these teams simply cannot do that because everything is predicated off of getting the running game going and then focusing on play action and using the middle of the field. And if you don't have the big round guys up front that are going to do this for you, it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. And I've got to admit that I have not watched a ton of Raider tape up to this point. I've watched a bit to get ready for this week, but I haven't watched all their games. And it just looks to me like you guys are going through the same thing that we are here in New England.
Now, I know you guys have lost a lot of key players on
Yep.
defense due to injury, including the rookie Christian Gonzalez, who was
Just
projected
killer.
projected to potentially be this year's defensive rookie of the year. But as it stands today, the injury report is already out. You
Yep.
have Cole Strange, Juju Smith-Schuster, who are out. Tyquan Thornton, you guys put on IR. Demario Douglas and Tyrone Wheatley are out. And for the Raiders,
Yep.
you got Jacorian Bennett, who's listed as questionable right now. Nate Hobbs, he's out for a second consecutive week. Justin Herron, who really haven't been using on the line this season, anyways, so it's not a major concern to us. Where do you think right now, um, if this game so happens to go south for the Patriots and it becomes a bludgeoning like it has been the last few weeks for you guys, do you think it's time to put Mac Jones on the shelf and start Bailey Zappi?
No, no, not at all. Unless you're thinking about Jones's health and well-being. If that's paramount, then yeah. But Bailey Zappi is exactly what he is. He's a fifth round pick. He doesn't have it. He really doesn't. Bailey Zappi is not the answer. The answer is not on this roster right now. You can call up Malik Cunningham, and he's not gonna change a damn thing about this offense. It is all about getting enough time to let guys get into their patterns and get open. And right now, the Patriots, even with the receiving core that they have right now, this is not the fastest receiving core in the NFL. I'm telling you, and getting separation and being there. And the other thing, and the fact is, Juju has just been a complete bust. I'm not sure how he got through the medicals, but his knee is gone. There is no burst in him whatsoever. That's why you're not going to see him this weekend. And right now, Pop Douglas was the Patriots' best wide receiver coming into this game, and he's going to miss it with a concussion. I don't understand why he hadn't been used more to this point. Bill likes to work rookies in. A lot of rookies here in New England end up redshirting their freshman year, their rookie seasons, and because of the situation here, that hasn't been able to happen. And right now, I'm searching for help anywhere.
That explains a lot with what you just said in regards to Bill Belichick and what he does with his rookies in regards to
Hmm.
redshirting them their rookie season. We have a lot of guys that we've drafted this past season that just about every single week they are inactive. So it
Yep.
seems like McDaniels is following Daddy Bill's footsteps and still continuing to live and die by the Patriot way. And this is why we see a lot of guys, specifically guys on our defensive line like Nestor Jade Silvera and
Yep.
a couple others, constantly
If
inactive on a week by week basis.
Yeah, if Josh doesn't trust them, if he doesn't trust them to know the system into being where they need to be, this entire the offensive system and the defensive system is so predicated on doing your job. You guys have heard this 1,000 times coming out of New England at nauseum on ESPN. Do your job. Do your job. And if you don't know if Josh or Bill doesn't think that you know your job, he would rather put somebody in there that does, that might be athletically a little behind you, that rookie, um, and they're just going to have to sit and wait. If you get picked on, if you get pointed out in a film room and asked a question and you don't know the answer, you're going to be a healthy scratch on Sunday.
Do you think that the Patriots regret not re-signing Jacoby Myers because they pretty much signed Juju to a similar deal, and
Mhm.
obviously Juju is not it for you guys right now.
The fans do. The fans definitely regret it. The talking heads on the radio definitely regret it. The way I understand it is the way that I've looked at it from the get go is Bill wanted more pop for that dollar. He thought he should get more than he was getting out of Jacoby Myers for that contract. Now you can take it. You can take a look at it. It's basically a 1 year contract for $11 million that he signed out there.
Right.
Um, Juju is on the line for 2 years at $16 million, and it goes back to me saying I don't know how he got through the medicals with this. Now I was told by more than one person that Bill had to be talked into making this move, not moving on from Jacoby, but bringing in Juju. So there's somebody on the hot seat there. Um, but the fans are when you watch Jacoby Myers play football, he is one of the best possession receivers that I've ever seen. He is a fantastic receiver. The problem is he gets the ball and he goes down. There is no yak in his game whatsoever. And for $11 million, Bill wanted more. If he had signed here for $8 million, he'd still be here. And we wouldn't be worried about Juju right now. The other thing that you have to understand is there is no Devonta Adams on the New England Patriots. Okay. Devonta Adams makes life so easy for other receivers in the way that he drags coverage all over the place. That wouldn't be happening here. It really would not be happening here. A lot of the people keep wondering, what would be if Jacoby was still here. Look, Jacoby did. Nobody is sending help over the top to you know cover Devonta Parker. All right. Mr. 50-50 ball is really Mr. 30-70 ball. And I've hated this. I hated this signing. I hated him when he was in Miami. I never liked it coming in here. I thought the money would have been better spent elsewhere. And Bill, actually extended him this season. There are certain guys that he just likes and that have burned him in the past. And he said, well, yeah, no, I'll better off with me than burning me somewhere else. And but no, I don't. While I love Jacoby Myers, I don't think that he would be having the success here in New England that he's having out there to this point in I keep saying Oakland. I'm gonna say Oakland for the rest of my life, kids. I'm an old man. I said Oakland when they were in LA. I said Oakland when they went back, and I'm gonna say Oakland, for the entire time that they're in Vegas, out there in Vegas.
So Devonte Adams, not too long after the signing of Jacoby, pretty much stated, more or less took a shot at Belichick that
Yep,
Jacoby was heavily underutilized and underrated in New England. And now with him in Vegas with Tay,
yep,
Tay is already going through the motions and the frustrations that offensively we have not been performing, but a lot of the times Tay is being double teamed, at times even triple teamed, and it opens up
yep,
the possibility for Jacoby Myers. But there's also other options on the field on the offense that have not really been utilized that much. I'll say maybe Monday night a little bit. You had Austin Hooper and the rookie out of Notre Dame, Michael Mayer, finally involved in the passing game.
yep,
But I feel like McDaniels is steering away from the things that made him so successful with his offensive system from the time he's gotten over here. There's things that have worked
yep.
where this team will have a lead going into the second half and all of a sudden have these collapses because he steers away from what has worked for him, or it's not broke, but he's fixing it anyways. What is going on here in regards to our offense, and why is McDaniel's doing these things? Because again, he wasn't doing these things in the past, at least when he was the coordinator with you guys.
Yeah, you can look at it as the depth and the the talent level of your running backs. All right, you can't look at this team right now and say that Josh Jacobs is having a Josh Jacobs type season. Now you could blame that on the offensive line all you want, but Josh hasn't been getting it done. You need a third down back in this system, and I don't think Josh has it. I don't know what's happening with Hunter Renfro. Did Hunter just get old? Is he running the wrong routes? Is he not breaking when he's supposed to? Is he not getting open? Um, and the other thing you mentioned, Austin Hooper. Yeah, I don't understand the complete. I don't want to say ignoring of Austin Hooper, but you've got to also ask Jimmy Garoppolo why he's not hitting him.
Makes a lot of sense. Like we've seen certain plays up the middle or certain
Yep, it run
certain
that seam route and
yeah,
it's there,
yeah.
and Garoppolo is not throwing him the ball. Now, does that go back to Tay demanding the ball? How many targets is he getting a game? And is he the type of player that is going to go to the sidelines and get on his quarterback for not throwing the ball and not believing in him?
So this
See, this
past
is
weekend he didn't get that many targets, and I looked back at last season when he played your Patriots. He only had four
mhm,
receptions for 28 yards last season against you guys in that game.
right.
And he did his presser on Wednesday, and they had asked him about the offensive woes and him not really getting the ball, but it being shared around. And he's not too thrilled with pretty much in regards to how many points we're putting up to get a win. Like he said, if it was like two players being involved and they scored 50 points, he would be happy. But if it's
Right.
nine players touching the ball and they're only scoring 20 points, he's pretty pissed off.
Yeah, he is. It's almost as if, where's my fantasy points, boss? I got people out there that drafted me in the second round. Why can't I get them my fantasy points? This is always the reason why you see, well, at least in my writing, that I don't like the true number one. All right. I like the ball spread out. I would rather see six receivers get 40 yards and 3 touchdowns, and you end up winning a game 24-17 than 35 to 28. Okay, but guys with this mentality, the give me the ball guys, are the guys who drive me up a wall, because that's not the way to be successful in the NFL. It's really not. I understand you guys are going through the same kind of frustration that we are, especially when you're paying Tay the kind of money that you are.
Hmm.
Um, but it's about the W's at the end of the game. All right, he has to look at it like, I'm sitting there like last year during that game, he was dragging double coverage the entire day and allowing other guys to get open and make plays.
Right.
Right now, the Patriots don't have somebody that's able to drag coverage. That Gronkowski is not there. The Randy Moss is not there. Not to mention, we talked about the offensive line earlier that isn't giving Mac Jones enough time to get the ball down the field. And I'm sure that you have that same problem out there in Vegas right now.
Yep.
It's kind of difficult to hit guys on go routes when you have linebackers sitting on your chest at 2.2 seconds.
We saw that one interception that Garoppolo threw Monday night, which was just like, what were you
Yeah,
thinking
what
when
were you thinking?
Wilson is dead in front of Jacoby
Yep.
Myers and you throw it anyways? It's like that was a gimme
Hmm.
pick. That was a gimme pick, and it's just like
Yep.
7 interceptions on the season already. It's frustrating to see. And when it comes to Tay, let me just go back to him for a second.
Sure.
I don't think it's a matter of him demanding the ball. He just wants to win. Like, he came here because this was his childhood team. He just wants to win. And a lot of people have misconstrued what he has said in press conferences. But the funny thing is, he's not shying away from a single thing. Like, he's going to be brutally honest and tell everybody how it is. Like, they try to separate. They try to divide the locker room and say, well,
Yep.
he wants out and this, that, and the third, and he said this, that, and the third. He's like, what I said was directly to my teammates because
Right.
I want better out of
He's
them, and
calling them out.
yeah, like, I
You
want
asked
better
the
out of
question,
them,
I
and I know
answered it.
what they're capable of doing.
You can't win. You can't win for losing. You really can't with a lot of reporters these days. You either give them a generic answer that is going to not put that kind of heat on you, or you give them an honest answer and you end up taking the heat for it. And just from what you told me, just from what you said earlier, that you saw the way that I took it, and I'm like, well, where's my fantasy points? Well, maybe that's not how he feels, but it to a person outside the locker room, that's the way it sounds. We aren't winning big enough. We aren't doing it the way that I envisioned doing it when I came here. Um, this man came from a program where he was being thrown the ball to by arguably one of the top 15 quarterbacks in NFL history, probably one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL while he was here playing, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out because that kind of football, as soon as you're able to take that one player away, and that quarterback decides to keep feeding that player anyway, you end up on the losing end, and you're out of the playoffs in the second round.
Let's go. Let's transition. Let's get a prediction from you in this matchup this coming Sunday. Now, we did see a lot out of the Raiders defense this past week with 3 takeaways, 2 by Robert Spillane, who has been a tremendous addition. A
Yep.
guy that when we signed him, I was like, to me, this wasn't the sexiest free agency signing for us. But he
Right.
has really done a solid job and has become a great leader in that locker room, anchoring that defense. And then you had Amik Roberts, the little pit bull puppy. He got torched. It was really just a missed assignment on a 77-yard bomb to Christian
Right.
Watson. And end of the game, he uses those springs of his and seals the game with that game-winning interception in the end zone. So I do
Right.
think going into this game, this defense is definitely on a high right now. The offense, specifically the offensive line, and McDaniel's play calling as well, has to step up tremendously if we're going to walk away with a win. But I want to hear what your what your keys to winning this game is, and then your final prediction.
The Patriots are going to have to turn the ball over on defense. I write every week in my column the weeklies, and it's win the turnover battle. They have not done that over the past 2 weeks. They've dug themselves a hole. They cannot dig a hole against this team. The Patriots are not built to come to drag themselves out of 10-point holes and 15-point holes every single week. They're going to have to run the ball effectively. They're going to have to get into play action, and somebody's going to have to step up and move the sticks. On the defensive side of the ball, it's basically the same game plan for you and me. Okay, for you, for the Raiders and for the Patriots. I hate when I do that. I'm sorry, Fuchs. I'm really sorry. It's basically the same game plan on the defensive side of the ball for both of these teams to take away the middle of the field, because that's where Jimmy makes his hay, and that's where the Patriots make theirs. They're going to have to muddle up the middle, force the ball outside, and hope that these cornerbacks can hold down, and limit the amount of explosive plays.
What's your final prediction for this
My
game?
final prediction: it's going to be a rock fight, guys. It's going to be a rock fight, and the Patriots are going to come out on top of it, 21-18.
Wow.
Yep, I'm gonna get my defensive touchdown this week, and that's the way it's going to happen.
I have the Raiders 27-17.
I can't argue it. I can't. I can't argue it. I really can't. It's going to be an ugly game. It's going to be a game where whoever wins this is going to win it on the defensive side of the ball, and especially who's able to get home and get the other quarterback off their spot and spend the day in their face.
Gotcha. Murph, great stuff. Before we wrap
Fantastic.
up, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can read me at e2gsports.com. I'm sure there are plenty of Red Sox fans that follow you, so they'll enjoy that. And of course, you can check me out on the Bird app at tmurph207. I call it Zitter now, so just check me out on Zitter, and we'll have some fun.
Murph, thanks so much for joining us, and
Thank you for asking me on, man.
good luck this weekend, man.
You too. You too.
All right, there you guys go. We had Murph. Great matchup preview. Probably one of the best that we had this season. On your way out, if you haven't already, and this goes for the first times checking out this pre-recorded, break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions. In the house that Hammer built, by the nation, for the nation, Raider Nation News Today. Continue to stay safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. COVID is still on the rise. Remember to wash your hands and your asses. And as always, win, lose, or tie, Raider Nation till I die. Till next time, y'all. Peace, love, and positivity. We out.